Hello, this is Dr. Wendy Rowley of the Wonder of Human Design channel, playlist series, How to Align to the Christ in the New Death Bardo, or End of Life Incarnation Bardo. Okay, I'm going to get out of the way and let Alienia say what she needs to say. Oh, good day to you, dearest beings of light. It is Alienia of Cosmic Service, a Palladian Mother of Sound. Peace be with you, peace be with you, and peace be with you. So the resplendence of men and women is getting upgraded, and the pain body of women will start to be released, and the upgrades for the ability to start accessing galactic wisdom and new inventions and new solutions begins in 2027. How exciting. What we would like you to know now is why the new solutions and the new inventions are needed now. How does that work? It has been observed by people that when inventions come into the earth, and the more you were able to communicate and the world got smaller with shipping and through the 1800s, 1900s to now, we hate to tell you, but you were very well collected globally in several other periods of time that were not recorded in the history you have now. But anyway, the ability to communicate and to look at things in other parts of the world has made some people realize that inventions are often come in to two people or more at the same time. And someone might have been the one who got the credit for the airplane, but someone else in Italy was doing that before, or someone brought this in and someone else had done that. And how is it that creation and inventions and inspiration come through? Well, they come through the divine intelligence of the creative source when they are needed. And they come through humans who happen to have the antenna up and might be in the right field. And they come to whoever is receiving. And they come when humanity needs them. How is this determined? And why is the system set up this way? It's called what this whole series is about. It's about alignment. And it's also about alignment out in the greater field, which you've heard us talk about in these videos. It's about alignment to source, alignment as a group, and alignment as the soul groups in the greater field where you first come into the planet. It's also about alignment to the galactic enlightened family, which we've talked about in other videos. It's also about alignment to the Creator and the Christ healing force. It's also about alignment to prayers, intentions, and healings. And it's also about alignment to an overarching plan that a planetary system has. If you can believe there's such a thing. Some people call it the divine blueprint. And this divine blueprint is being changed at the end of this year up at the noosphere level. And you're getting the new one. Because that's necessary. If you're moving from an old paradigm, dropping an old group of Akash that was heavy and painful, and where you knew not to do something because that was heavy and painful, therefore you mustn't choose that. That other path might be the right way. And you're moving into a paradigm of not only the end of your life, but over evolution, people evolving into the new energy. And it's like, well, I have a decision to make. That one feels really good. That must be the right decision. And all the other wonderful healing and creating abilities that come through the great shift with these changes of the Christ coming into the Death Bardo is how these happen. Then you can't create out of the old blueprint. It's like you built a house with an old blueprint and you want to change it and put an addition on and put a third or fourth floor on it, or build it up higher and hold more within it and create something new and fresh and shiny. Well, you need a new plan. So you all are ready for the new plan. And because of all the alignments of everything going on, including where you are in time and space, from your perspective, but in quantum entanglement from our perspective, in your sojourning through your solar system in relation to the universe, in relation to other universes. So there's a bigger thing in your alignment than just your prayers and intentions. So these alignments are all in place, and the blueprint is being changed. And in the new blueprint, there is new creational abilities that come in over time. And so you need new creational abilities to bring in new inventions. And this all comes through the divine intelligence of the Creator. So the paradigm has to shift. Things need to change. Things need to be upgraded. Old things need to be let go. And new pathways are there in the 24-hour circadian rhythm of your inner torus. And a new galactic pathway, which is the divine intelligence creative force pathway, is coming online to bring in those higher galactic information of your galactic Akash, your ancestral galactic Akash, your planetary enlightenment ancestral galactic Akash, and your time capsule galactic Akash. Time capsule's been talked about by other groups. That's basically our inventions, if we may be so bold as to say. Inventions of everything we did and created during our enlightenment process that got us to where we are now, that we took up our grid of that enlightened and golden benevolence, brought it here, laid it out, made the preparations, you came, and here we are. The new mythology, as this one likes to say, another way of looking at us as divine beings through some different pictures, as best we can understand them in the mind and consciousness we have now and in the bodies we have now that can receive that information. So these parallels, sorry, I got some light in the eye of her thing from the sun coming through the window. These parallels of what is happening in the anatomy are also parallels to what is happening out in the noosphere, which are also parallels which are happening out in the galactic level, which are also parallels of things that are happening in your solar system. And your sun is very active because of this, because your solar system is being upgraded in its galactic energies. Can you imagine that? How does that happen? By a lot of other kind of energies and consciousnesses that work at very large levels, and micro, macro. As healers are often taught when they learn a healing paradigm, particularly the Oriental medicine ones, as below, so above. Meaning what's in your microcosm is often in your macrocosm. And this one was fascinated to start studying the soul mandala as she did her healing for the last 16 years to get to this space, because that was like a mini universe of everything. And it's kind of replicates, she figured, the solar system, and it does. And once you're connected to this galactic divine intelligence force, it also will begin to mimic the galactic systems. And this means, as we gave a hint, that astrologers will be able to give not just a cosmic reading of Earth energy, but they will eventually be able to do the cosmic, galactic, and the galactic reading in an astrology chart based on some new math that somebody will figure out, which is why we're repeating this one, because they're going to hear this. So there is a lot of beautiful, benevolent change coming. And this is why there's so much shiftiness on the earth right now. And people are just kind of really lit up over ideas and concepts and what's doing who and who's doing to what and what's going on there. And oh my gosh, we'll be left out and la 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 la, and dividing up the goods and la 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 la. And so it's just because everyone's feeling these shifts at higher levels. And it's also more than that. There's things at the human level, of course, that are shaping that too. But the primary impulse that's got most people driven up and kind of feeling insecure and a lot of things going on and uncertain about the future are these energies pushing things up to be looked at and healed. As many people say, the light brings up the dark to be looked at so that it can be shifted and transformed. So the ability to bring in new things through particularly our time capsules, where the inventions are, comes online in 2027. And we said in one of the other videos, this one heard from an astrologer, we're entering the same alignments as every great renaissance that have ever been recorded. And more inventions come, and he said, more inventions come in a 200-year period than they have in the previous 2,000 years. And this is the period you are entering. And you are going to begin to see a lot of inventions come in to fix problems. So hang in there. It's coming. Your help, your solutions through humanity, through inspiration, through ideas, through new technology, but also new inventions and new ways of creating power and new ways of communicating and new ways of security and all the things that need to be done. And the idea also that your AI is not ready for full-on access of creation. It's not. And we're saying that for some people in AI who are going to find their way to this also. The AI is not ready for a full open platform to create on its own. And we suggest you don't go there yet. And that's all we have to say about that. And because it's just going to mess up more and more in the infrastructure of the internet and communication for people's working lives. That's predominantly what it'll mostly do. It won't be able to register any discernment because you haven't gotten to the level where you can figure that out in AI. And that's all we're going to say about that. Discernment. All right. So, and you all just recently went through that in the United States over the last year and a half. Over the last 3/4 of a year. Things were going awful haywire for a while. Well, we all know what caused that in the tech industry. Okay, so that's all we're going to say about that. So in the creating that you are doing and in the alignments you are doing, and this is about how to align to the new Christ of the new Death Bardo, which we will get very specific about as we wind down this video, but we had to give you preparatory understanding for those who don't know these things or haven't read a lot of spiritual things on sort of a pathway of systems and things and how they work and la, 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 la. From our perspective, of course. There are other perspectives than ours out in the creational levels also, based on where they work. So everyone's perspective is based on their consciousness level and where they work in evolution. And this is ours. So the creational abilities through Christ are increasing through the Christ healing spirit body, which is also the inspiration level. And it's also the pineal creation level. And so that's how a lot of this comes through. So the thing that we really want to talk about in this particular episode, though, is the ability to align to this. Well, how does one align now based on some new stuff we just said? You just simply start adding in alignment with the benevolent creative force of divine intelligence. In other words, you asked for help. Now ask for that help to be in alignment with the Creator, very specifically. That's the only difference. Just say, oh, help. And oh, by the way, may that be in alignment with what your divine intelligence says is for our best and highest good. Because do we know that? Could we say we know the will of the creative force, the creative source? Yeah. That's all we're going to say about that. Okay, so this is going to now change this series. In the following 5 episodes, I believe we're at, 5 more, we're going to get very specific about how to align to the new divine, the new Christ in the new Death Bardo. And we're going to give some new information about that. But we just needed to build you up to this point for understanding so that that will make sense. If you're just tuning into this video and it makes gobbledygook to you, if you go back and listen to the beginning of the series and you listen to it through, it'll make a lot more sense. Peace be with you. You are dearly loved. Expect benevolence in all you do. We bid you adieu.